but never end. Oh, we'll dive into topics, make new best friends. So grab a seat, get ready to go on the Clips Podcast Show. Let's enjoy the flow. We'll discuss the latest trends and news, laugh and debate, leave your feels. Tim the man is your host. We'll keep the energy high, putting tunes and stories that will touch the sky.
Well, clip to the clips, the place to be. When no topic is too controversial, you'll see. Join the man, Tim, let's talk for a while. On the Clips Podcast Show, make you smile.
Welcome to the Clips, where the fun never ends. Oh, we'll dive into topics, make new best friends. So grab a seat, get ready to go on the Clips Podcast Show. Let's enjoy the flow. We'll discuss the latest trends and news, laugh and debate, leave your feels. Tim the man is your host. We'll keep the energy high, putting tunes and stories that will touch the sky.
There it is. I don't have to touch it. I used to mess with it, but now I know. Yeah, that's how we do it. All right. Today, welcome to Clips Podcast Show. I guess some of my guests will be coming in as I go. Yeah. So how you people doing out there? Yeah, I know. With everything going on out here in the world, you just got to keep on pushing. I understand. Well, they call this Black History Month. I don't look at it as Black History Month. I just look at it as what it is, but it's up to us to know our Black history. So tonight's show is actually about teaching us also about some Black history that you might not know about, or you might know about. I thought I'd contribute to this, even though I don't consider it Black History Month. I'll still add my 2 little cents to this because I feel like people should know certain things, even if they don't know certain things. So, yeah, let me get this for you. Give me a second here. And then after I play this, we can discuss it. You guys can chat in live. Give me your opinions on it, how you guys feel about it, or whatever. I could actually chat with you while after live and go from there. But yeah, let me get that. Okay, let me see here. Why don't that move out the way? All right. With no further ado, let's go into this.
Welcome to the part 1 of our series on the 100 Black inventions that changed the world. For too long, the media has ignored the achievements of Black inventors, making it seem like they weren't as smart or talented. In school, we learn about things like the light bulb, electricity, and other important discoveries from inventors like Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, and Benjamin Franklin. But we don't hear about the incredible inventions made by Black inventors. It's time to change that. Today, we embark on a journey to unearth a legacy that has long been ignored. a series that unveils the untold stories of 100 black inventions that changed the world. These black inventors, whose names have been shrouded in darkness, refused to let their history hold them back. Their intelligence and resilience propelled them forward, defying the barriers of slavery, discrimination, and racism. In this episode, we're going to share their stories and tell you about the amazing things they invented that changed our lives. Before we get right into the video, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel so you can catch all the parts in this series and keep informed of our eye-opening black narrative. Number 100, three-light traffic light. The three-light traffic signal we see today has greatly improved our safety on the roads, but very few people know that the traffic signal was inspired by the invention of a black person. The person behind this brilliant invention was Garrett Morgan, an African-American businessman and inventor. He lived in Cleveland, Ohio, and was the first black person in the city to own a car. In 1922, he witnessed an accident between a horse-drawn carriage and a car, which inspired him to find a way to prevent such accidents in the future. At that time, police officers were responsible for directing traffic, but it was difficult for drivers to see them, and their signals were limited to just stop and go. This made it hard for drivers to navigate through traffic. So Morgan came up with a new idea. He invented a traffic signal that had folding arms with signs that said stop and go. The signal would be placed on a post above the road, making it easier for drivers to see. He also added a third position where the signal could be raised halfway, indicating caution. This was like the modern yellow signal that we see today. To operate the signal, a traffic attendant would turn a crank, raising the post and showing the appropriate sign. If necessary, the attendant could stop all lanes by showing the stop sign. Morgan's invention was patented in 1923, and he sold the rights to General Electric for $40,000. Number 99, home security system. The 1960s were one of the most dangerous times in American history, and for a black woman whose husband was always working at odd hours, staying alone in her home at night left Marie Van Britten Brown feeling pretty vulnerable. Unfortunately, their neighborhood had a high crime rate, and Marie was concerned about the slow response time of the police. In response to this, Marie came up with the first home security system when she was 40 years old. Initially, their invention consisted of 4 small windows, a movable camera, TV screens, and microphones. The cameras could move from one window to another. These cameras were connected to TV screens inside Marie's home. By using the TV screens, Marie could see who was at her door without actually having to be there physically or open the door. The microphones were also important as they allowed Marie to communicate with the person outside without having to face them directly or open the door. Marie Van Britten Brown's invention of the home security system has had a significant impact on the security systems we have today. Her innovative idea paved the way for further developments and improvements in security systems that are still used today. Number 98, folding bed. In 1885, African-American inventor Sarah Good would create one of the most famous inventions designed for maximum comfort. Her patented folding bed would inspire the modern-day Murphy bed. Being a furniture store owner, she saw a business opportunity and made an audacious move. When Sarah Good heard about the problem of limited space in Chicago apartments, she wanted to help. She invented a bed that could fold up and be hidden, similar to the Murphy bed we know today. It was like a cabinet that could turn into a desk, with spaces for writing supplies. Sarah's goal was to make the bed easy to lift and keep in place when folded, and to provide extra support in the middle when unfolded. In 1885, Sarah Good became one of the first African-American women to get a patent for her invention of the folding bed. Number 97, protective mailbox. In October 27, 1891, Philip B. Downing was granted a patent that changed the mail system forever. That patent was for a street letterbox, essentially the mailbox we see all around the country, where you can post a letter any time of day. In the early 1800s, U.S. citizens posted and received their mail via a post office. People would need to travel far distances to visit their local post office for their mailing needs, so there was a need for a better, more convenient solution. Downing designed the mailbox that we all recognize today, a metal box with 4 legs. This invention changed the need to go to the post office in order to mail a letter. It included a hinged door that kept bad weather such as rain and snow from damaging the mail, and also a safety feature making the mail secure until it is picked up by postal employees. The Downing letterbox patent became the basis of the letterbox we have today. Number 96, blood banks. It's impossible to determine how many hundreds of thousands of people would have lost their lives without the contributions of African-American inventor Dr. Charles Drew. This physician, researcher, and surgeon revolutionized the understanding of blood plasma, leading to the invention of blood banks. During World War II, there was a great need for blood transfusions due to the large number of casualties, but there were challenges in transporting and preserving blood for long periods. Recognizing this problem, Drew focused his research on finding a solution. He developed a method to store and preserve plasma, which is a vital component of blood, separately from whole blood. This allowed plasma to be stored for longer periods without losing its life-saving properties. He also came up with the idea of blood banking, which involves collecting, testing, and storing blood so it can be used for transfusions when needed. Drew's work was a game changer. It not only helped save many lives during the war, but also paved the way for advancements in blood transfusion techniques. His ideas and innovations laid the foundation for the modern blood banking system that we rely on today. Number 95, refrigerated trucks. In the world of modern transportation and logistics, refrigerated trucks play a vital role in ensuring the safe and efficient delivery of perishable goods. Behind this groundbreaking invention stands an extraordinary mind, that of Frederick McKinley Jones, an African-American inventor whose innovative spirit transformed the way we transport and preserve temperature-sensitive items. In the late 1930s, Jones was approached by Joseph A. Numero, an entrepreneur in the cinema industry. Numero needed a way to transport perishable items like food and medicine without them spoiling during long trips. Recognizing Jones's skills, Numero asked for his help. Jones took on the challenge and came up with an ingenious solution: a portable cooling system that could be added to existing trucks. This transformed ordinary trucks into refrigerated vehicles, allowing perishable goods to be transported over long distances while keeping them fresh. Jones's invention had a significant impact on various industries, including food, pharmaceuticals, and healthcare. It made global trade easier by enabling the transportation of perishable goods to faraway markets. Number 94, automatic elevator doors. On the 11th of October, 1887, a highly skilled barber, inventor, and businessman named Alexander Miles received a patent for a technology that would revolutionize the way we use high-rise buildings forever. His invention? Automatic elevator doors. Though a seemingly small milestone in the history of technology, his innovative design made the use of elevators infinitely easier and safer, earning him a spot in the National Inventors Hall of Fame. Whatever the reason, Alexander had identified just how dangerous the elevators of the 19th century were. As they had to be opened manually, either by an operator or the passengers themselves, people were often at risk of plummeting down the shaft with horrific injury. Miles's design included a flexible belt attached to the elevator cage, with drums positioned on it to indicate if the elevator had reached a floor. When this occurred, the doors would automatically open and close by means of levers and rollers. The influence of his elevator patent is still seen in modern designs, and the automatic opening and closing of elevator and elevator shaft doors have become a standard feature. Number 93, Super Soaker Summer just wouldn't be the same without Lonnie Johnson's invention. Johnson was an aerospace engineer for NASA who happened to invent the popular children's toy. In 1982, Air Force and NASA engineer Lonnie Johnson conceived of the idea of a pressurized water gun after shooting a powerful stream of water in his bathroom while performing experiments for a new type of refrigeration system. This experimentation, which resulted in Johnson shooting a stream of water across his bathroom into the tub, led directly to the development of the power drencher, the precursor to the Super Soaker. Number 92, tissue holder. Mary Beatrice Davidson Kenner, along with her sister, was a wizard of making your trip to the bathroom as pleasant as possible. They both invented a toilet tissue holder in the 1970s, which they share a patent on. This invention was created with the purpose of eliminating the problem of grasping the free end of a toilet paper roll, which happens when the free end of the paper is positioned tightly against the remainder of the roll. This invention helps by always keeping the toilet paper in an accessible position, making it more convenient to get a roll of paper right when you need it. Number 91, peanut butter. Generally, when people think of famous African-American inventors, one of the first names that springs to mind is George Washington Carver. Perhaps most famously, Carver's inventions included the discovery of over 300 different uses for peanuts, such as making cooking oil, axle grease, and printer's ink. Carver was the first African-American student accepted to Iowa State and quickly became a campus leader and excelling in botany and horticulture. After finishing his education, George Washington Carver was convinced by Booker T. Washington to serve as the Director of Agriculture at the upstart Tuskegee Institute. Though the job offered very little in terms of pay, Carver took the position and ran with it. It was there he devised his method of crop rotation. Through the system, crops flourished, but a large surplus of peanuts also developed. This led George Washington Carver to develop alternate uses for the peanut. Today, everyone and their dog can thank George Washington Carver for the invention of peanut butter. Number 90, laser phaco. Imagine living in a world ranging from hazy, clouded vision to that of total darkness for 30 years. Before 1985, that was the plight of those with cataracts who did not want to risk surgery with a mechanical grinder. As a noted ophthalmologist and famous black inventor, Dr. Patricia Bath dedicated her life to the treatment and prevention of visual impairments. Her personal belief that everyone has the right to sight led to her invention in 1985 of a specialized tool and procedure for the removal of cataracts. With the laser phaco probe and procedure, Dr. Bath increased the accuracy and results of cataract surgery, which had previously been performed manually with a mechanical grinder. With the laser phaco probe invention and the development of the procedure for its use, Dr. Bath helped restore the sight of several people who had been blinded by cataracts for up to 30 years. Number 89, automatic gear shift. Richard Spikes was a well-known inventor whose automatic transmission for the car gears and other automotive-related inventions transformed the transportation industry. Spikes invented the gear shift to help keep the gears constant for different speeds, which also helps people to drive up hills. In December 1932, Spikes received a patent for an automatic gear shift device based on automatic transmission for automobiles and other motor vehicles. Number 88, dustpan. The first dustpan was invented in 1858 by American inventor T. McNeil, for which he was granted a United States patent. However, it was Lloyd P. Ray's improvement that gave us the dustpan we all recognize today. The African-American inventor made improvements to the dustpan by the addition of a short wooden handle and a collection plate made of metal, and this invention was patented in 1897. The addition of a metal plate and a short wooden handle allowed sweepers to collect trash without getting their hands dirty. Due to the convenience it provided, Ray's invention quickly became a household staple. Number 87. Gold tee golf was totally a different sport before Dr. George Grant came along. Prior to the invention of the wooden tee at the turn of the 19th century, golfers made tees out of sand. Courses would supply each hole with a box of wet sand from which the golfer would fashion a raised mound using either his hands or a cone-shaped mold. In 1899, Boston dentist Dr. George Grant, frustrated with this tedious and messy process, invented a wooden golf tee. However, it wasn't until William Lowell, another dentist, invented the ready tee in the early 1920s that using a wooden tee became common practice. Number 86. Lawn sprinkler. African-American inventor Joseph H. Smith improved upon the lawn sprinkler by patenting the first rotary head lawn sprinkler in 1897 that sprayed water in two directions. In 1898, he was granted a second patent for modifications and improvements to his original design. His invention eliminated the need to drag a hose over the lawn and reposition it periodically to ensure a relatively even watering of the lawn. Number 85. Modern toilet. Thanks to Thomas Elkins, your bathroom breaks are as comfortable as ever. While Elkins didn't outright invent the modern toilet, his improvements to the chamber commode would inspire the mechanics of the modern toilet. His patented design came with several amenities, including a bureau, mirror, book rack, washstand, table, easy chair, and earth closet or chamber stool. Over the years, the toilet would go through several modifications to become the porcelain throne it is today. Number 84, ringing mop. In 1893, Thomas W. Stewart would devise an invention that would make cleaning less of a back-breaking labor. The ringing mop we know today was inspired by his invention, which provided a way to care for the slate, stone, or marble floors that were a feature of the homes of the aristocracy, and later the middle classes. Thanks to his invention of a clamping device that could wring water out of the mop by using a lever, floor cleaning was not nearly the chore it once was. Number 83, reversible stroller. Modern-day reversible strollers and baby carriages are the work of African-American inventor W.H. Richardson. Although the first baby carriage was invented in 1733 by William Kent for the Duke of Devonshire, its lavish design made it harder for everyday individuals to have access to them. However, Richardson patented a new type of baby carriage on June 18, 1889, that was more efficient and affordable. The design featured wheels that could turn 360 degrees in a smaller turning radius. The bassinet was also designed so it could face out or in towards the parent. Over a century later, his invention is still a popular choice among parents. Number 82, biscuit cutter. By 1863, A.P. Ashbourne worked as a caterer, having amassed a respected following in Pennsylvania. He catered weddings and buffets of the wealthy elite in Philadelphia and was selected as one of a handful of local caterers for the 1863 Emancipation celebration held in the city. While attending this event, Ashbourne noticed that the biscuits were simply hand-patted and lacked any real form. He began a decade-long process to create a device, a spring-loaded biscuit cutter, that would guarantee a uniform shape and size. His patented cutter had a board to load and unload biscuits easily. At the time, his invention brought convenience and accuracy to the flour-based food product. Number 81, airplane propelling. While the Wright brothers designed and constructed the world's first practical fixed-pitch propeller, it was black inventors, among many others, that would improve the mechanics to be what it is today. In 1920, African-American inventor James Sloan Adams was granted a patent for a new and improved propelling means for airplanes, which utilized the stored-up energy of a spring to the fullest advantage for driving the airplane forward. This rounds up the part 1 of our series on the 100 black inventions that changed the world. From lawn sprinklers, home security systems, to traffic light signals, black individuals have continuously defied the odds and left an indelible mark on our world. It is time to celebrate their triumphs and acknowledge their countless inventions that have revolutionized our society. In the next part of this series, we will share even more audacious inventions, scientific breakthroughs, technological marvels, and groundbreaking discoveries done by black inventors. As always, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos to let more people know the truth about blacks and to hear their own part of the narratives. Thanks for watching.
Hey Tim, you muted. You on mute, bro?
Oh yeah, I forgot I muted myself. Yeah, I thought I contributed to Black History Month so much that I wouldn't contribute to Black History Month. But I just think that we ought to know certain things about our people and what we contribute to a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know. She keep asking me. I can't for some reason. This doggone stuff won't let me share the link. Tila trying to get on, but I can't seem to get her on. I can't send her the link. This thing is acting crazy tonight, man. I don't know what is that. It won't even let me paste and share the link. I don't have her. Man, I don't have her. What you call? I don't have her email in front of me.
Where everybody at?
I don't know. I don't know where they at. I had to go ahead and just get rolling, even though I don't know, it's asking me something. I don't know. Next week, because I can't figure it out. I thought she had the link. She told me she had the link. And now I'm sitting up here trying to fool with this. And this, I didn't even know it was acting like. I know they updated my stuff, but man, this is making it difficult. It's sitting there talking about uploading and 0% and all this crap. Let me see. Let me try this. Let me see if it'll do this here. Yeah. See if this will do it, and then maybe I'll be the. Okay, look at that. That's what it did. All right, let me do this real quick. See if I can send this to this woman real quick. Oh, here we go. So what's been up with you, man?
Not much, man. Same old.
Same old, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, you gotta do that. There you go. Yeah, it made me go through all of that just to do that. Jesus Christ. Yeah, yeah, man. It is what it is. How was your week this week?
About the same.
It's about the same.
Yeah, ain't much happening.
Man, with everything going on out here in the world, man, shoot, it is what it is. You got to just work through this stuff and keep pushing, man.
Hey, you don't have too much of a choice.
There you go. Golly, you took me through
I'm
some
not.
mess. What is
Nah,
wrong? You took me through some mess.
Nope.
You
You gotta
had
get.
the link on your phone still.
I did not.
Br-
He
If,
told us,
if you've been on here, no, if you've been on here, it's still in the text message or the invites I sent out to people. That's still in your text message. All you had to do is click on that, and it probably would have took you. You still got Riverside on your phone or on your computer, or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it would have took you right into that. It would have took you right in.
Well, it was having problems that you seen.
Yeah, because it's doing something on my end. Where I'm thinking you already had the link, so I didn't even bother to even try to,
JT down like I had to know what it is.
Yeah. I'm like, oh man. You remember JT, don't you?
Yeah, I can never forget him.
You can never forget
Ain't
that. Or he can never forget you, one of the two.
And you still owe me money. Council, you got want my.
Well, we just
What did he say?
he'll tell you
I
what
said I want my money, bro.
You want your money?
You was cutting out, JT. What'd you say? Oh,
We ain't talking about nothing, bro.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
my fault. Yeah, I said I want my money. All that free counsel you got on that episode, even though
he
you
told
weren't
me he gave
listening.
you
Nothing.
free
I said I
counsel.
want my money.
I was the one doing the counseling.
Oh. Oh man. Well, I just shared this with JT, and I'm gonna let you see a little bit of it because you're just now coming in. And I'm not gonna do the whole thing, but what we're doing tonight is I just wanted to do a little thing, contribute to this month, which was Black inventions and stuff that people did. I just let you see like the first three people, and then we'll go into conversation about it. But I'll let you take a look at this. I believe that like you're an inventor. You're an inventor yourself. You do inventing, with your creativeness. That's inventing. As Black people, we've been inventors since the beginning of the time. So we always, no matter what position we get put in, we figure stuff out. So watch this. Let you see the first one to tell me.
Welcome to the part one of our series on the 100 Black inventions that changed the world. For too long, the media has ignored the achievements of Black inventors, making it seem like they weren't as smart or talented. In school, we learn about things like the light bulb, electricity, and other important discoveries from inventors like Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, and Benjamin Franklin. But we don't hear about the incredible inventions made by Black inventors. It's time to change that. Today, we embark on a journey to unearth a legacy that has long been ignored, a series that unveils the untold stories of tell you about the amazing things they invented that changed our lives. Before we get right into the video, please know that the traffic signal was inspired by the invention of a Black person. The person behind this brilliant invention was Garrett Morgan, an African-American businessman and inventor. He lived in Cleveland, Ohio, and was the first Black person in the city to own a car. In 1922, he witnessed an accident between a horse-drawn carriage and a car, which inspired him to find a way to prevent such accidents in the future. At that time, police officers were responsible for directing traffic, but it was difficult for drivers to see them, and their signals were limited to just stop and go. This made it hard for drivers to navigate through traffic. So Morgan came up with a new idea. He invented a traffic signal that had folding arms with signs that said stop and go. The signal would be placed on a post above the road, making it easier for drivers to see. He also added a third position where the signal could be raised halfway, indicating caution. This was like the modern yellow signal that we see today. To operate the signal, a traffic attendant would turn a crank, raising the post and showing the appropriate sign. If necessary, the attendant could stop all lanes by showing the stop sign. Morgan's invention was patented in 1923, and he sold the rights to General Electric for $40,000. Number 99, home security system. The 1960s were one of the most dangerous times in American history, and for a black woman whose husband was always working at odd hours, staying alone in her home at night left Marie Van Britten Brown feeling pretty vulnerable. Unfortunately, their neighborhood had a high crime rate, and Marie was concerned about the slow response time of the police. In response to this, Marie came up with the first home security system when she was 40 years old. Initially, their invention consisted of 4 small windows, a movable camera, TV screens, and microphones. The cameras could move from one window to another. These cameras were connected to TV screens inside Marie's home. By using the TV screens, Marie could see who was at her door without actually having to be there physically or open the door. The microphones were also important as they allowed Marie to communicate with the person outside without having to face them directly or open the door. Marie Van Britten Brown's invention of the home security system has had a significant impact on the security systems we have today. Her innovative idea paved the way for further developments and improvements in security systems that are still used today. Number 98.
Bro, we'll use that. Stop there. Oh, let me get rid of that. Get rid of that. Where Miss Shopaholic go? She gonna bleep back out again. She bleeped out and oh shoot. Is that you? Oh, you muted. Did I mute you, JT? Did I mute yours? Can you hear me? I think yours muted, JT.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I don't know if I had muted you or you muted me. I know I can mute it. She just tried to click back on. I don't know what happened to her, but hopefully she's seen enough. But anyway, what do you think about this stuff? I mean, my question is, you know me, I always got a first question. Well, why do you think these other nations of people, you think they kept these things from black people for so long? You know, all these inventions we've done, everything we've done. Why do you think they kept them away from us so long?
It's the same reason why today they make school seem unpopular, uncool. Most, young people aren't as vested in school, understand the meaning or the significance of going to
Mm-hmm.
a interracial school and getting quality education based on the taxpayers and which funds that. They don't really appreciate it. So if you want people to devalue education, you keep it from them. If you want people to devalue knowledge, you
Mm-hmm.
keep it from them. So the easiest way to get these African American people to think that we haven't contributed anything, even though we built this country, we built the White House, we built everything that systematically stands for the United States of America. We invented things that change people's lives for the good every single day, but they will never, ever openly give credit to that because they want us to devalue ourselves, devalue education, devalue accomplishments. When you have a race of people whose biggest interest is music that talks about one another instead of learning about people that change the world, we've already lost.
You say they ain't interested in education, you say?
No, they're not. I mean, let's get it straight. Most young people really don't want to go to school. I mean, nobody really wants to go. Let's say that one or two teachers that really get them going and challenge, encourage them to learn, and really,
Right.
have thirst for education out of them. But then when you have a system that unless even talk about the modern day government. I mean, Trump is trying to get rid of Black history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so they don't
Yeah.
even want you to learn about yourself or your culture. They're talking about defunding HBCUs that teach Black history. I mean, so again, like, education is free for the most part, but now they're taking active steps to ban authors, ban books, to ban these educational systems that are important to Black people. Black kids should be,
So you
but
saying they talk about banning HBCU? I mean, not banning HBCU, or what, the funding for the HBCUs?
yep, if it is found that they're teaching Black history.
Uh,
You know, so I mean, like, there you go. I mean, it's systematic.
yeah.
It's systematic, unfortunately. And you know, that's a great tidbit information. And a lot of that stuff I heard before, but it was good to get that little refresher
Yeah.
about the we've made. You know what I mean? I remember learning about that when I was in high school or college. You
Right.
know, if you don't go actively looking for that information or refresh your knowledge base, you forget it.
Hmm.
So that was pretty cool.
That's why I thought I'd put it out there, because you never know who watching this, and like you say, even though they might be familiar with it, just to get that type of information. Because I believe that like you was just going over, the kids are not that interested and they don't think it's important. I believe that we gonna have to teach our kids ourselves, man. We're not gonna be able to wait on the system to do it.
Well, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? When it's all said and done, I mean, because if they don't catch up in a hurry, man, they're gonna be behind, because these other nations, they teach their kids are keeping up with technology and things of that matter, and finances and how to get ahead, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree. But you got to think about it too. Like, if you go to India, 90% of that country is filled with Indian nationals, people who can trace their generations, 5, 6 generations back. They're Indian, that's their culture. You go to England or Great Britain,
Right.
and those people can do the same thing. It's a homogeneous culture. The majority, I mean, they do have people that come in and integrate, but the majority of that culture is 90% white, right?
Right.
And goes to the Middle East, Pakistan, Turkey, wherever you go.
Hmm.
These countries don't have the influx of cultures and races that the United States does. So
Hmm.
it's easy to promote your culture, your history, when everybody is the same thing. Now, we're not talking about class, we're just talking about race.
Right.
Racially, 90% of these countries are composed of the same ethnicities. In
Right.
America, you got Asians, you got Native Americans, you
Hmm.
got Europeans,
Hmm.
you got Anglos, you have African Americans. So it's that melting pot where the majority, who is soon to be the minority, is trying to hold on to
Yeah.
that last hope that we are the race that did everything. We're the greatest. We created this. We created that. Civilization started with us, which we all know is a lie. But that's what they try to promulgate to all these other cultures that are here. Anytime there's an Asian American festival, well, why can't it be just a United States festival? Because it's about Asians celebrating their culture, or a Mexican American festival, or African American soul food, whatever. Like, there's always pushback from the majority. Why? Why? Because we're not promoting their ideology. That's why. The belief that they're superior. Okay. Mm.
I don't know what happened to the internet. Was that me or you? Yeah.
I'm here.
Oh, I wonder what happened to my stuff. It just went out. Crazy. But yeah. Turn this back on real quick. It's still like my YouTube went out too. But yeah. I just wondered, man. Like, you know, and for future, for future references, man, I'm looking at it like it's looking pretty bad.
Well, it's part of the master plan.
It look, yeah, and, and,
Part of
and
that
like you say,
project 20.
yeah, and I can't figure out why, like you said, why black people are not taking this stuff. Not just kids are not taking school serious. Why black people are not taking this stuff as serious as they should. Just think it's serious. You know,
Because we conditioned to want the wrong things.
uh-huh.
Knowledge not as strong as getting money in our culture, unfortunately. Status, power, and money versus
Hmm.
knowledge, self, education. They're just differences that aren't comparable anymore in our culture, and it's a shame. I'm not saying in all, but in
Uh-huh.
the majority of our households, we're stressing financial achievement instead of really understanding who we
They
are, where
think
we
that
came.
they think that's what financial freedom, having a whole bunch of money and stuff like that.
Unfortunately, our culture has a crabs in the barrel mentality. And if we think we do better than our neighbor, have a better car or a better house or
Yeah,
better clothes,
yeah,
then we've arrived because we're
yeah,
better than. Not how can I help my neighbor get to where I'm at, ah, but I got more than you do, so I'm better.
yeah, yeah.
That's the way we.
That's what we think, huh?
Yeah, we rather instead of going to a black business, pay Amazon, Jeff Bezos, and all these billionaires, quadruple billionaires for the satisfaction of dropping the package off on your doorstep in 24 to 72 hours instead of
Right.
what we do.
They're
This is what,
already rich. They already billionaires, millionaires.
what they say in other cultures, like in the Jewish community, the dollar passes around like nine,
A
ten
hundred.
times,
They say a
speaks
hundred. Yeah, 100 times before it leaves.
100 times, and they say in our community it goes around what once, twice, it's
Yep,
gone.
maybe once or twice, and it's out of there.
Oh, there you go.
Going to other communities, spending it in their communities, building up their community.
Yeah, but we want to wear the Louis Vuitton and we want to drive the Mercedes Benzes or the
Right.
Range Rover, like anything except for us.
Hey, this guy told me this story. He said he was at a store one time, and that's here here in our city, Cleveland. He said he was in the store and he was standing in line waiting. He was buying something, and he said a guy came in and was like, "Where y'all ice at?" And he was like, "Over there." This was a black-owned store, and he was like, "Oh, back there in the cooler." He said he went. The guy went back there, grabbed the bag of ice, and went up to the counter with the black dude and said, "Man, you know what? I'm gonna go down the street to the Arab store and get the ice." The guy said, "Why don't you get the ice right here?" He said, "Because they ice is colder down the street."
Wow.
He said they ice cold. I'm sitting there going, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Ice freezes at the same temperature no matter where." I'm like, "You got to be kidding me." I said, "Man," I said, "My
I
goodness."
believe it too. I
That was
believe it.
funny. He said, "Man, he couldn't believe it." He said, "Dude told him he going down the street because the ice is colder down at the Arab store." But I was saying that to say, like you was talking about the mentality of uh, black knowledge and education. Look how they think, just in that essence of you own a store. They don't want to patronize you. They don't want to. We just don't patronize each other when we own stuff. Outside of beauty, beauty, hair, things of that nature. If you open something, man, it's tough to get blacks to come in there and buy. They always want a deal or some kind of discount.
Yeah, but pre-civil rights, it wasn't like that.
Huh?
And that's why Dr. King said, "I fear I've integrated my people into a burning house."
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, before we had the ability to coexist financially and educationally and any other way you want to imagine, with white folks, we took care of our own.
Hmm.
You remember back even in the late 70s, early 80s, your parents went to that corner store that Mr. Johnson owned. You know what I mean? And
That's
if you
right.
didn't have money, you could barter or put a little credit down and pay him back when you got paid.
Yeah,
We
he
took
will
care.
run a tab with you until you got
Yeah,
paid.
yeah. I mean, we took care of our own though.
Yeah.
And then once that generation died out, My grandparents died out, and the
Yeah,
baby boomers took over, who were
right.
the beneficiaries initially of the civil rights movement. This is what happened.
Yeah. So that knowledge we once had, it died off with our grandparents. You know, because
Not
think
even that. The knowledge is just the ability for us to take care of us.
right.
That's died.
Well,
You
I'm saying
remember when the whole family would be over there when nobody get out of line.
right.
You might have to sneak your little drink, sneak your little smoke, whatever, but you ain't get
Uh-huh.
out of line. Grandma and grandpa was in the room.
Right.
They ruled iron fist. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, you on YouTube getting your ass beat by your brother-in-law at the family dinner. Like, it's horrible. It's just,
Yeah, we was more of a moral knitted family, and you know, as far as just you know, even outside your immediate family, you know, we took care of our own.
absolutely. You think about it, you be cursing on the street, one of your neighbors see you, they straight tell your parents after they correct you and chastise
Right.
you. I mean, nowadays, you say something wrong to somebody's kid, they ready to fight you, ready to shoot, ready to do
Right.
whatever. Teachers can't even discipline kids effectively in the classroom without parents taking up for their kids.
Now I don't understand that right there. That's why I could not be a teacher because what they have to go through and what they call the disciplinary actions y'all only could take to no man no, especially coming
Man,
from the old school growing up, man. I don't even know how these folks even being teachers,
well,
man. I
we come from a day and age where they used to have corporal punishment in the school.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
you
So
get your ass paddled.
they need to bring it. What you think? They need to bring it back or what?
No, it's too many liabilities. You
I
know,
mean,
is it? I mean, it's almost like if people ask me if teachers should be able to have guns in the classroom, like no, no, because a lot of teachers unfortunately operate off of emotion, not their training. And trust me, a fifth grader can take you there, take you to that place. And I've seen grown adults get taken to that place by 10-year-olds.
well, wait a minute. So what did our teachers operate off of? Was that emotion or was that
No, they operated off of fear, and I'm gonna tell your parents.
yeah.
I don't know about you, but I used to see my classmates get their ass kicked in the classroom by their
Yes.
parents.
Yes. Remember,
You
I'm
understand?
much older I'm older than you, so you know I
Yeah.
seen the belt broke out right there at the desk. So
Hmm.
that's what I'm saying. So we need to go back to what worked, JT.
We live in too much of a litigious society for that. Everybody was sued,
Yeah. Yeah.
and big cases. I mean, you know what I mean. You
Yeah.
bankrupt school systems.
Yeah. Sue society now. It's a Sue society. So let me ask you this back on the subject here. Do you think the people of old who came up with these inventions, our ancestors of these inventions, do you think that their siblings now through the generations, do you think they should get compensated for the stuff that was invented back then? Because a lot of that stuff is being used to this day,
The
even
problem, the problem is just like you talked about Garrett Morgan, who sold the rights to the traffic light to General Motors for forty
right.
thousand. Like he
Well,
created $1 billion
yeah,
industry across the world, not
but
just
he
Cleveland,
didn't.
Ohio, the world.
He
And he
didn't
got
know.
40 racks for it.
He ain't
You
know
feel me?
though, JT. He didn't know.
No, of course he didn't. And back then, that was a lot of money. I mean, you
Yeah,
know,
I
that was
was
a money. That's probably like 900,000 a day
yeah,
for something he probably thought wasn't gonna get out of Cleveland.
right. You're
Went
right.
worldwide. So
Yeah,
a lot of times, you know, these upstart black people sell the rights to their inventions to these companies. Like, you know, the lady who created the security system. I'm
yeah,
sure Honeywell or ADT came a calling and wanted to buy that technology. Probably gave her $1 million back in the 70s. But
right,
now, again, across the world, everybody's using this technology. And
right.
he wasn't compensated for what she was owed, but she sold it.
Hmm.
Madam C.J. Walker, her brand, the hairline products, you don't think it's been bought or sold 2 or 3 times? Her formulas, recipes, and ingredients since she created that back in the day. I mean, we see a way out when we like, hey, go ahead, pay me.
Right. I
That's what we
think it
do. And
should be.
I'm mad at it.
I think it should be some kind of conversation, though. My goodness, man. I mean, we just did all this uh invention and intuition, and we just what? It's in books, and we just talk about it, and we don't get nothing.
Well, shit. I mean, that's not going to happen. Those people aren't going to get compensation for their inventions. But I mean,
Uh,
if you want to make it worth the while, give black people reparations. Give
no,
me my acres and the mule. Give me my My family's 10% of this $1 trillion. We'll figure it out. I'm sure you have a hell of a lot of minutes out of that time to sit at home and mess around with money and research back funding for their organization or their invention. I'm sure they'll be all right.
Right. I mean, because I had seen a special on 60 Minutes where this family had traced their lineage in I think it was in Mississippi, near the Mississippi River. They had, and their ancestors had came on the slavery boats all the way to Mississippi, and they were made to work at some kind of wood factory or some kind of saw factory. Yeah, it's a saw factory, and they found out that their grandfather and uncles and everybody worked there, and to this day they're still in that area of Mississippi, those areas, as a family with that still that last name that they had of the slave uh, owner, and they're trying to get compensated because his family still owns that 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 they still well they uh they retain the riches from it. So
Mm.
they're trying to get compensated.
It sounds like they got a case. I mean, it depends on what grounds they're suing on. I mean, but if they've been generationally cheated
Mm-hmm.
out of wages, they may have some money coming.
Yeah, it was on 60 Minutes, and it had I was like, wow, I think they ought to be compensated. You know, I think they should.
I don't think I have an objective opinion because I think
So they worked all them years there, man. They made the man rich.
But that's what I'm saying. I believe that everybody who has an ancestor that was enslaved,
Mm-hmm.
who was a descendant of a sharecropper who got cheated out of money, and they weren't sharing profits from those crops, should be compensated. I think every black person in America should be compensated for post-traumatic stress disorder. Just being black, living in this society entitles me to a check. I want it. It's crazy the things that we have to deal with.
I mean, it kind of run into what you was talking about as far as the reparation stuff. It does kind of run into that. Since you mentioned that, I mean, you could actually, like you said, use that to compensate, for things of that nature. But wow.
I mean, you think about it. If every African American got together and filed a class action lawsuit against the United States government for over 400 years of oppression, abuse, systematic genocide,
Right.
Not giving us everything that was mentioned in the founding documents, and we were enslaved before the founding documents even came into existence.
Right.
I think the courts really have to look at that.
Mm.
My opinion.
I mean, they didn't try to push the reparations through the courts, and for some reason, it just keep getting stalled in the House.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they try to push it through Congress, and Congress is
Yeah.
never going to pass it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They go there.
I'm saying just like personal injury lawyers, if you're in an accident and you get $1 million from that accident, and we've been accidentally getting our asses whooped in this country for the last 600 years, there's some compensation is due. Yeah. It is personal injury, and it's generational personal injury.
I mean, do you think they have the money to actually give us the reparations?
Yep. I'll say it again. If the 13% of African Americans who live in the United States of America succeeded from the Union and created our own country, we'd be the 7th wealthiest country in the world. 13% of the population.
Right.
So if that's just 13%, 87% of America makes up the rest of that money. You don't think they had the money to take care of their citizens? They did it for the Japanese during World War II. Yeah. Korematsu versus the United States, when they had all those Japanese internment camps, when they got out, they sued the government and they got compensated for it. How do you think they were able to open all those businesses and create, the Japanese towns and districts? And they got compensated for it. Yeah. So if we had a Black Wall Street, what happened to that? And that wasn't even funded through compensation from the government. That was funded through our own pockets, and they couldn't stand it.
And they ripped that baby, burnt that down.
I mean, come on, man. What's good for one should be good for the other.
So, with as a black man or a black woman in America today, uh, can we believe anything that they tell us or try to teach us? I mean, just looking at the inventions, the history, and we ain't gonna go on the biblical side. We know everything has just been a lie. I mean, it's
Well,
almost like we can't believe nothing they tell us now.
one thing my father told me when I started going to school and they started teaching social studies and history. My parents didn't play that. We had the Black History coloring books, Black History flashcards. We
Right.
couldn't look at Superman and Batman because they was white. We used to have like comic books with Crispus Attucks and Benjamin Banneker. Like my parents were super black, like very pro-black.
Right.
So when we would come home and tell them something we learned in school, they're like, "Now here's the truth." You know what I mean? They would take it to the source, and we learned like that. So my father would always say, those who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
So every time I learned something in school, I would come and go into my mother's library and my father's library, and I would read for myself what the truth is and who did what and when it really happened.
Yeah.
So I had to explain that to my kids too. Like, don't just because you go to Benediction, that's great. And yes, we are a part of that school fabric, but we're not necessarily a part of that school culture.
Right.
Don't believe everything they teach you in that school.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I didn't get a good education there, but
Right.
what I'm saying is when I was in history class and I had a white female teacher me teaching me about the white man's burden, which is actually a
Did
chapter
you
in
say Burton?
burden. The white
Oh
man's,
my God.
I swear to God,
Oh
my
my goodness.
my junior year in high school, that was an actual chapter in my history book where it talked about how these wonderful Catholic missionaries were going to all these foreign lands to try to help civilize the savages that didn't believe in Christ. It was the burden of the white man to civilize the savages.
What?
And that was the doctrine they tried to instill in us. I was like, I'm not buying that bullshit. And when I get an argument, I get kicked out of class because I used to go back and forth with them teachers all the time.
Right.
So I get kicked out of class.
What?
Yeah. I mean, all the time. They threatened to put me out of school at one point.
The burden.
Yeah, white man's burden. I'm telling you, that was the name of the chapter in the history book, and there was more than one African American in that class.
Oh man, that was hard to take in right there. That's hard.
It was.
That's hard.
It was.
I
It
mean,
was.
as a curriculum, I'd be like, you know what, I'm out. Go on, sign me out this class. Go on, get me out of here.
But see,
Unless
the
it was
curriculum
like
says
you had to take that major or something.
no. Well, the curriculum said world history. It didn't get into the teacher's lesson plans and break down every chapter that we were going to be reading throughout that course.
Okay.
But when we flipped the page and we saw white man's burden, we saw a lot of black hands go up in there like, hold on. Who asked for the white man to come over here in the first place? You know what I'm saying? They had their own God. They had their own economy. They had their own religion. They had their own family structure. Who asked for you all to come in and try to push Jesus Christ down people's throat? They did it with us when we came over here on the bus. That's the first thing they did. Try to shove Jesus Christ down our throat. And our people did it. I mean, they began to love Jesus and Massa and that picture of that white man with blonde hair and blue eyes. I'll never forget my brother when he was in high school at our church. He staged a protest with all the black kids, and we demanded that they remove every single white picture of Jesus in our church.
What?
And they won.
Did they?
Sure did. Sure did. And there was certain hymns that they were protesting too. Jesus washed me white as snow. Like, we're not singing that.
What?
We're not. That's an old black hymn.
Yeah.
Jesus washed me white as snow. No, thank you.
All policy. Oh wow.
But this is real.
Yeah, Lee, man. Like I said, it signed me up out of that curriculum. They doing way too much, and not enough of the truth up in that baby.
So now, if they're pushing that type of curriculum, and it's just been modified, it hasn't been erased. It's just been modified, right? And now you have DeSantis and all the rest of these Republicans banning books by black authors. Like, well, we don't want our kids to read this. It's pushing a certain narrative, and it's anti-white, and it's too woke. So your kids aren't getting that supplemental foundation and knowledge base.
They don't feel like their kids should have to suffer through knowing what really happened.
Okay. They're going to learn one way or the other. And this is what I'm saying. Like, college is almost like the great equalizer, especially if you go to a liberal arts college. A lot of those white professors are a lot more militant than some of those black teachers at HBCUs.
Oh yeah.
And they're going to hear the truth one way or the other. They're going to hear the truth.
Right.
Whether they choose to believe that narrative or go along with that narrative,
Uh-huh.
the truth is going to come out. And that's why a lot of them come home. That's why you look at them college campuses when that Israeli-Palestinian conflict really started going off and it was us against it. Who were the people protesting for the Palestinians? White kids. They were the ones getting thrown in jail and causing upheaval and wearing Palestinian flags. It was white kids.
Mm.
And who do you think, again, are teaching these white kids that knowledge base, that theory base?
Right.
It's white professors.
Yeah.
White professors, white liberal professors. And America couldn't stand it. Now you got a president talking about, I'm going to go over there and make 2 million Palestinians get out of Gaza. We're going to turn it into the French Riviera.
What?
And you ain't heard one peep from these white kids yet about Trump threatening to turn it into a resort. The Gaza Strip, replacing 2 million Arabs.
Oh my God.
Come on, man. Where's the anchor with that?
Wow. That's on another. That's a whole nother show right there. You talking about
It is, but that just lets you know what they're thinking. So eventually people are going to have to come to the reality when they open their eyes, they do the research, they read the books, they really understand the historical context, of where we are, what we've done, what we contribute to society. They're going to have to learn all the bullshit that they've learned.
Yeah. That's
just
true.
like a lot of black kids sometimes have to learn all that European shit that they learned to realize we have a very strident place in the historical context of America. And damn it, this is what it is. And be able to stand on that.
Yeah, that stuff is going to have to be erased and retaught. That's what's going to have to happen with that.
Or like you said, parents are just going to have to step up.
Yeah,
and start. My parents weren't racist, but they just wanted us to really have a strong understanding of who we were as young black kids. So, like, my mother wouldn't buy us toys; she just buys books and stuff. But if she did break down and buy us a toy,
right,
it had to be black. So we had to go find the black G.I. Joe, the black He-Man, like, and there's only one figure in the whole. So we both got the same damn toy, looking at each other like. But she said, "I'm not gonna spend my money unless it's on a black character." She's like Darth Vader. She's like, he's all black. I'm like, he's in the suit. It's like, it doesn't matter. He's black. So she bought Darth Vader. She was cool with that. But again, it was that cultural context. So she wouldn't buy European literature. But as I went to school, you got in the library, you read the Amelia Bedelias, the Nancy Drews, because it was there. You know, like, all right, I done read all this at home. I never seen this. So I'm gonna read that, you know. But again, that was a choice. And kids have to have a thirst to want to read everything and understand everything, but it's the parents' job to really help children identify culturally who they are, what they are, and what the struggles that they're going to face are.
Yeah, bring it home. Yeah, that's true.
Got to. You can learn all you want about Benjamin Franklin, but if you ain't learning about Benjamin Banneker when you get to the house, it's a problem. If you can't go to your school library and read about Benjamin Banneker, it's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a problem. Seeing the first person that shed blood for this country was a black man during the Revolutionary War. Nobody wants to talk about that though. So all these
right. So like what is the reason you think, maybe, you know, this is your own opinion, you think our black people made these inventions in the first place? Like a lot of these inventions, from the stoplight to the security to the lawnmower, the microwave, you know, why do you think our people, and I'll give you my opinion, you know, after you tell me, why do you think these people were so innovative and they invented these things during their time, or whatever the years in which they invented them?
I think necessity is the mother of invention. And if you listen to like some of the stories that they were talking about, how the African American woman did the security system, her husband was, you know, working late, she was by herself. She needed a way to feel secure and to protect her assets, so she invented that. The fact that two black women created the toilet paper holder that's less than 60 years old is blowing my mind. That's blowing my mind.
Why is that?
But think about it. You know, you probably had a frustrated sister. The husband already left the toilet seat up. She got to go to the bathroom. She tried to put the seat down, get the stuff down, grab some toilet paper, and he done got the roll wet. So she tried to unwrap the paper. Like, damn it, this has got to be an easier way.
Yeah.
And she figured out how to put just a simple invention. Let me put this roll on a little metal rod, and you can pull it and push it up against here and get a clean tear. Black women did that, and it's less than 60 years old. That's bananas.
That is.
The internet, like
Yeah.
bananas,
Yeah, that
like
was crazy when I seen that.
just bananas. I mean, what we've done, but I just think that the times are right,
Mm-hmm.
situations were right. And
Right.
again, necessity is the mother of invention. When it starts getting too hard or too up, like the black man said, he didn't feel like taking a mound of wet sand and crafting a tee. I mean, think how simple that idea of a golf tee is. But just because he didn't want to get his hands in that wet, nasty ass sand,
Mm-hmm.
he created that apparatus where you can rest. I mean, that's necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah.
One thing about us, brother, we come from royalty, so we like to be comfortable.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? We like things to be a
Yeah,
little
we
bit
like things.
easier for us.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I was
Yeah.
gonna say a lot of the inventions from the the lawnmower, the push lawnmower to everything. Remember, you got to take in perspective that we were doing most of the work, so we invented
Yep.
things to make things much easier on ourselves.
Right.
And we
Yep.
was just doing that to make it easier. Was we thinking of patenting it and it's gonna make us $100 million or $2 billion? No, we just was trying to make stuff easier, and
Right.
it's been taken and remanufactured, and it might have been a little what they call that tweaked and a little bit, and these people turned it in there. Oh, we came up with this new invention. No, all you did was modify what was made already.
Right.
You know,
Right.
years,
Right.
over
Great.
years ago. In that
So
area.
yeah, I just like I think I like your take on that. Like we did things and created things that made our life easier, like the cotton gin. I mean,
Yeah.
who were the people picking all the cotton and processing the cotton? We made it easier on ourselves. So I think that's a great example.
That's
Agreed.
true. So that was my take on it. Like, I believe that the reason a lot of we were so innovative because, man, it was tired of being out there in that 100 and something degree temperature, picking this and picking cocoa, picking cotton, sugar canes, and cutting down. Man, it's hot out there, so we need to come up with some big umbrella hats, some new ways to chop, cut, and like I say, this is just my opinion. I don't think that we were saying, man, this is gonna make me a millionaire or billionaire. We were just going, man, just trying to make it easy.
Agreed. And in doing that, they revolutionized the United States, the world. I mean,
Oh, definitely.
man.
But and also think about it, and we didn't have any rights. We didn't have any legal rights to own anything, or and a bunch of stuff. Also, we didn't have rights to. So even though we came up with the invention of it, we couldn't go patent it and then go get somebody to back us for $250,000. Next, boom, it's getting manufactured and we millionaire. So a lot of inventions went to the slave master who seen you made it, and then he got rich. That's why I was saying that I think those families owe uh, our black ancestors or the siblings of them that's still living money because you seen what that man invented on your plantation, and you was like, wow, boom, took it, bam, and you continue to make your family rich through the centuries.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. But then again, like I said, well, why just not hold it to the inventors family? I just think again, any descendant of anybody that was enslaved is entitled to some type of compensation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Even if it's just for again PTSD. If you want to put a label on it, what have we suffered over the last 500 years versus what your ancestors suffered through?
right.
Let's go ahead and monetize it. And let's see
Mm.
how
Uh-huh.
much comes out of our community based on our conditions versus how your people came over. Okay, it was cramped on the boat when you got off of Ellis Island. I'm sorry. Oh, y'all lived in tenements for a couple of years, but then you earned enough money to own all the bakeries on the street, or all your Irish became police officers and they controlled law enforcement in your neighborhood. And they were working with the criminals and co-opting with the criminals to get kickbacks and all that, let them do their business. So I
Yeah.
mean, I don't want to hear about it. You all were able to take your fortune, your misery, and turn it into fortune. Our
Mm-hmm.
misery has just been misery for
Yeah.
500.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yep. That's pretty much where things are at and where they've been gotten to. So yeah, absolutely, man. Well, it ain't been a real long show, but it was a good show. Me and you, and I just think in that, and anybody go and watch this. you know, they could pull something out of the video as far as the inventions and go from there. And you know,
Yep.
listen to the podcast and go from there. I mean, if you know you like the show, like, subscribe, share, uh, and tune in next Wednesday. Uh,
Hey, Tim.
yeah,
Tell anybody who has a problem with what I say and wants to disagree with it, you know what I'm saying, particularly any other culture or ethnicity, like to come on and talk about it. We're available.
yeah, absolutely. That's why I said they could hit me up at Clips Podcast, the Clips Podcast show. They can email me at T Thompson 178064 at yahoo.com. They want to come on. I mean, we'll talk about it, and we talk about all kind of stuff. But I thought this was good. Not so much, oh, it's Black History Month, because I think that Black History Month is anytime you want to talk about it. It's not 1 month, you know. So I mean, you're not gonna give me 1 month to tell my people about stuff that's been going on for hundreds of years. But if there's anything you want to say before we we sign off.
Oh, God bless everybody. Happy Black History Month. Yo to the bird.
And with that being said, we'll go ahead and play the Clips Podcast music. And we'll see y'all next week, 8 o'clock, Wednesday at 8.
Yo,
Peace.
welcome to the Clips, the place to be. When no topic is too controversial, you'll see. Oh yeah, join the man Tim, let's talk for a while. On the Clips Podcast show, we'll make you smile. Clips, 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 clips. Welcome to the Clips.